Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm glad to see you again. Welcome back for another gun workshop, covering what I thought would be the worst shotgun by far, the 725 double barrel shotgun. Wait, what's that? The shotgun is brought to us again by the golden shores of the United States? You don't say! This American double barrel shotgun quickly fires two 12-gauge rounds before having to be breech loaded. You would think with a weapon that needs to reload this much that the fire rate would be abysmal, but it's actually fairly respectable at almost 350 rounds per minute, obviously not including the reload time. However, something you'll notice with both of my builds for this gun is that with such a small ammo capacity and the need for frequent reloading, sleight of hand is basically a necessity with this weapon. Looking at the weapon, it looks like a hunting shotgun, which would probably explain the massive 15 or so meter one-shot kill range. The only other shotgun that even comes close to this is the Model 680, which is still only 12 meters. What this leaves us with is a very powerful weapon with a respectable pellet spread that can reach out and smack you from distances that seem impossible for a weapon of this kind. This weapon is also fairly modular, meaning you can basically make it into whatever you need it to be, which is great since it allows for a variety of uses, two of which I'll be showing you today. Before that, however, I'm hoping this day finds you well, and I hope your Sunday's been a fun day so far. Let me know how you're doing down in the comments below. Without further delay, let's get into the gunplay. For any of you who are Mad Max fans out there, you'll immediately recognize the reference and the particular build for this 725. The Road Warrior is your basic sawed-off double-barrel shotgun that is a beast up close. We start off with the choke, as with all my other shotguns, to tighten up our pellet spread to help counteract the losses from our next attachment, the sawed-off barrel. This barrel will greatly increase our pellet spread, which can be a pro or con depending on how you look at it. The biggest benefits with this part are huge, and I mean huge movement speed increases, and a huge ADS speed increase. Next, we use the sawed-off stock to further build on the boosts from the barrel. Sleight of hand is our next necessity, and the Tempest Slim Grip is there for better sprint out time and fast ADS time. The Road Warrior is not to be used as a primary weapon. I repeat, this build is not a main gun. This is a weapon you use as an overkill secondary on a class that mains a longer range weapon, or a very slow one, like an LMG. In fact, this is my exact backup weapon for my support class I use in Ground War. On numerous occasions, this weapon has saved my hide when enemies push into a building that I'm holding. Any of the LMGs in my support class aren't good enough for close range, so I bet they're surprised when I whip out this Mad Max relic and blow them back to the Thunderdome. Another benefit of running this as a secondary to the heavier weapon is mobility. In order for me to reach objectives quicker, or to cross open areas with less chance of being picked off in Ground War, I swap to this bad boy and fly to my destination. This build can work in standard multiplayer, although why you use Overkill instead of Ghost is beyond me. It obviously works wonders in Ground War, but I wouldn't recommend this for Warzone. For my longer range variant of the 725, I bring you the Bear. The Bear sports the choke for that decreased pellet spread we all love. Next, I use the Tempest 32-inch competition barrel for even further pellet tightening and an increase to our overall damage range. Next, the Tempest Sport Stock makes an appearance to improve our ADS speed while only sacrificing a little stability, something this weapon doesn't really need. Sleight of hand is a given at this point, and we again use the Tempest Slim Grip for that increased ADS speed and reduced sprint out time. The Bear was honestly the build I was using to fully level up my 725 the entire time. The Bear is just the best build for standard multiplayer. This one can be run as a primary, and I'll probably end up using it again for fun at some point in the future. Combining the pellet spread reduction of the choke and the competition barrel, you can almost make every pellet at the same exact point. Basically, it gives you slugs, but with superior hipfire if you ever need it. A lot of people poo-poo the 32-inch barrel because it slows you down a decent bit, but they seem to neglect the huge accuracy boost it provides. Also, playing slow isn't necessarily a bad thing. Speed isn't all that important when you can outplay other people. See the link below for a whole video detailing Modern Warfare's approach to tactical gameplay. In addition to refusing to put the suppressor on a shotgun, I'm also refusing to put any laser on the 725 because it looks so rugged, and adding a piece of tech like that would just make the whole thing ugly. This build is great as a primary for both standard multiplayer and Ground War, however, I really don't feel the shotgun works well in Warzone at all. And that, folks, will just about do it for my coverage of the 725 double barrel shotgun. As I went into leveling this gun up, I was fully expecting to be punished the whole way, seeing as whenever I got this as ground loot in Warzone, it was absolute trash. However, I've come to realize that this weapon is fundamentally good. It is solid and powerful, with a very respectable fire rate and decent reload time. Its range, especially for a shotgun, is also great. Honestly, its biggest weaknesses lie in its only very limited ammo capacity, a stark contrast to the R90 from last time, and its relatively poor handling. That being said, I basically enjoyed using this weapon all the time. There were a couple struggle matches here and there as I was getting used to it, but once I paired it with my kitted out 357, video on that later, I was rocking enemies like a true cowboy. If you haven't given this weapon a try, as intimidating as it may seem, I highly recommend you give it a go. I promise that after getting used to playing with it, it'll feel as if you've been using it all your life, and it won't disappoint. That is, unless you use it for Warzone. Just like the Model 680, I cannot recommend this weapon enough not to be used there. The introduction of armor into the equation really fights the strengths of this weapon, and it typically doesn't work out. If you're going to use a shoddy, use a spammier one like the R90 or the BLK Rogue. With all that out of the way, I'd just like to thank anyone who's made it to the end of the video and given me a decent chunk of their time. I'm looking forward to growing this channel more with all your support, so be sure to leave a like and comment and tell your friends about me. I feel I provide enough unique insights to warrant sharing my content with others, but that's just my point of view. As always, I've been your host, Doodleman149. I look forward to seeing you next time, and I will see you later.